Happy Monday, y'all. Again, tired. I have changed clothes, but I am tired and I fed the boys. So therefore, I am late starting this, but I still wanted to show y'all what the boys ate. It's gone, but I wanted y'all to know a quick and easy meal for mothers who have toddlers or young children, and you always want to have something separate, like a separate meal or whatever for them. And I'm sorry, y'all, I'm gonna have to take my glasses off because it's just the light is killing me with the glasses. But anyways, this is Members Mark brand honey barbecue chicken bites. I get these, of course, at Sam's. Members Mark is their brand. The GOAT. They are spicy. They got kick. I don't eat them, but my children in hell. And this is an easy go-to weeknight meal. You throw these in the air fryer and you're done, pretty much. Especially if you have meat eaters like me. And also, I wanted to show y'all these. These are the Checkers Rally sweet potato fries. Insanely good. And I'm not talking about your, ooh, I want a sweet potato fry, but these are the best. I have tried others. They can't touch these. I'm joking. But anyways, these are absolutely delicious. In the air fryer, they're perfect. They are crisp on the outside, soft on the inside, but not that yucky soft. If you have kids that don't like certain textures, my son Alexander, that's autistic, he will eat these, and he doesn't normally eat French fries. He's more of just a chicken guy. So this is what they had. I'm gonna put this up. I just wanted y'all to see the brands. So for those of you who maybe need a quick meal, whatever day of the week it is, doesn't matter. This and this, always together, always great. Sometimes they just have this. I'll eat the fries and I'll eat a side salad with it. Because like I said, this chicken is too spicy for me. But remember, I have sensitive gums and I don't really do spice at all. My daughter likes a little bit of spice, as she calls it, and she says that these are not too spicy. These fries are, they have some kick to them too, but it's not unbearable. So, if your kids like spices, I would say these would be kid friendly. Or if you're just starting to adult, if you're adulting and you have your own place and don't really have a huge budget for food because you're trying to live somewhere that's beautiful, nothing wrong with that. This is a perfect meal for teens, college people, new to the whole adult thing. When you've got more month than you have money, this is a perfect meal for that. I'm going to put this to the side for now, and I'm going to show y'all the main event. This is a spaghetti squash, and I love squash. I'm a Southern girl, grew up on squash of all kinds, but this by far I think is, other than just the regular yellow squash, this is one of my favorites. They are difficult to cut. When cutting one of these, what I recommend is what I'm going to show you. First of all, you're going to need a good cutting board, but let's wash our squash and then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you how to cut it. And I'm using my scrubber, y'all, on my squash. I have a separate one for food, by the way. Okay. Anywho, I have thoroughly washed this squash. I did not dry it, and looks like I splashed my camera again. Y'all bear with me. I tell you, I don't know. All this stuff is new to me. Y'all be patient. Bear with me. Looks like I still got, well, it might help if my hand wasn't wet, huh? But anyways, back to the spaghetti squash. You're going to need a real knife, not a, oh, I'm just, you know, you can't cut this with no cheap knife. It's got to, as Eddie Murphy said at Dolomite, you got to put your weight on it. You're going to have to really get in there. And I'm fluffy. I got the weight. I don't have the upper body strength, but I put all my weight on this, and you'll see. Now, this is the knife. This is not the knife that I cut it with on Friday, so we may have to do a test run with my other knife. This one is a KitchenAid. I think the one I used last week was my Cuisinart. But anyways, I made a spaghetti squash on Friday. Everybody liked it, liked the picture on TikTok, but I hadn't made the video, so I have another one that I got this weekend so that I could do spaghetti squash for y'all for Meatless Monday. I start with mine by trying to cut this top part off. Like I said, I was using a different knife, so we're going to see. But see how I'm leaning in? You're going to have to lean in. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, my phone was giving me a message. Y'all didn't get to see me cut that. But anyways, I cut my top part off. And then it normally, the spaghetti squash will stand fairly well on its bottom. But because I'm not using the same knife, I'm going to go ahead and cut this bottom part off too. See what I mean? You gotta get in there. This is not, this ain't for the faint of heart. This is, I would say, a pineapple does not compare. I thought cutting pineapples was bad, but this is much worse. Okay, so anyways, I've got my top and my bottom cut off. Now I'm gonna come in and I'm really thinking maybe I should have got my other knife out, but anywho, I leaned in and just tried to break it down. This one also I got at Walmart. The other one was a blessing. It was fresh. My friend, church member, neighbor, Sister Vernie Boston, she gave me one on Friday, and hers was, that was definitely a farm to table thing because it came fresh from one of her friends' gardens. I'm gonna have to try the other knife, y'all, because this one just is not complying. I'm gonna go with this one, and see, because this is, I think this is the one I used Friday, but yeah, big difference. But see the, now, see, it's for real. You gotta know what you're doing. Okay, this is what it looks like on the inside. Hope y'all can see that good, well, whatever the correct English is. But anyways, this is what it looks like on the inside. Worse than cutting it is trying to get these seeds out, y'all. I'm telling you, the seeds really, so rest my spoon. Use that pan for scraps. You gotta kind of dig in, and I don't know the age of who's actually watching me, but it's kind of no different than when you're gutting something. You got to really go in there. This is actually going a little bit better than I thought. That farm to table one that I had that my friend, Sister Boston, gave me, it was, I think, probably, I hate to say a better grade, but I think it was better. Farm is always best, even though we shop at stores and we try to hope for the best produce. I'm a Mississippi girl. We don't have a whole lot of options. We don't have Whole Foods where I live. We do have farmers markets though, but most of the time I miss that kind of stuff because with my son, Alexander, he doesn't really, everything for him kind of has to stay on his clock schedule, his inner clock. Like, he goes to bed with the chickens. That's why I'm actually late cooking this, because once they ate and I got them to bed, then I came back to do the video. But anyways, you're just gonna do the same thing to both. You're gonna come in and you're gonna, I try to just go in the, you know, just I don't know if y'all can see it well. I try to go around the sides first and then go up underneath. There is going to be a lot of seeds in this, so you just got to brace yourself. And it does not feel, if you don't like certain textures, feelings, this may be something that you want to assign to someone else to do if you don't live alone. But anyways, it takes a lot to gut them. As you can see, we still got a little bit of seed and gunk on this end. So and if you have these bigger spoons, like this one is actually, I don't know if it's military or what. This was my great aunt's, so it's pretty old. But love my family, miss them. So many of them are gone. I just miss them. Learn so much from them. But anyways, we're looking better now. You don't want to scrape out what you're gonna need to make a meal with. So you want to try to lightly scrape, so to speak, but still get all of this unwanted out. I think this actually is pretty good because, hello, the seeds and so forth, none of that stuff is gonna hurt you. It's just not necessarily what you want in your dish. So this is what we're looking like now. We're all cleaned out. Also, these don't smell the best. If you're sensitive to certain smells, that may be a problem as well. If you've never really, my father used to have a large garden in Tibby. Whoop whoop, shout out everybody in Tibby. And he used to have a garden down there when I was a girl. And I'm gonna tell you, it teaches you to appreciate the farmers having to take care of plants and so forth. The smells, you just don't forget. I had to clean my cutting board off because I am going to be using it. Oh, also, this is another Sam's product. This is the broccoli Normandy. I love this. This blend is broccoli, cauliflower, and it's 2 different types of carrots. This is what I'm going to load them with after they're done. But I wanted y'all to see the bag so you'll know what to get if you're in Sam's and you see these. This is definitely worth buying. This is a pretty good sized bag. My family, this is 1 bag is enough for us. If we're having company over, then I do 2 bags of these when I do my baked veggies, which I'll show y'all on another video. So anyways, we're going to do those to go on the inside. This takes about an hour to cook. So I'm basically going to try, this will be my first time trying to cut a video, y'all. I'm going to show y'all this part that I do and then come back with our finish, how we finish it up. So our squash is clean. I've rinsed it. Y'all, as I told y'all before, I'm sorry, I couldn't live without these pans. I am not a dishwashing girl. I hate doing the dishes. Absolutely hate it. So recycle, reuse, people. I get these. I don't have to worry about, and hey, throw it in your recycling bin and you're good. But anyways, always secure it, especially, you know, I told you with heavier things. These are heavy. These both pieces are heavy. So I'm gonna hit this with some avocado oil, and you could brush it, but I'm gonna use my hands. Oh yeah, I don't have gloves on. I don't want the glove police to come for me. So hold on just a second. Let me grab my gloves. My gloves are just right around the corner of my main fridge because, as I told y'all in the previous video, I have our church. We have a We attend a small country church, and we have what we have started this year is Faith and Fellowship Sundays, and we do that one Sunday a month. So whenever I'm cooking for the church or anyone else, I'm wearing gloves. Even when I'm cooking for my family, depending on what it is, I'm gonna probably have a glove on. So anyways, I'm gonna rub this down with my avocado oil, and you want to rub and make sure you get the side that you cut. Make sure you get that as well. You don't want it to, not that I really worry about it sticking, because I actually cook mine in a water bath instead of just in the naked pan. So anyways, now here comes the fun part. We're going to, I use a lot of this water. I'm so thankful that Sam's has it now, because as I told you, I buy water to cook with. I don't use the water from my faucet to cook with. Sam's has this now. It's cheaper than what I was getting at the local grocery store for a 6-pack. So use a lot of this. Now I'm going to go down in my pan with just enough water to come up. I need a little bit more. I thought I had enough in that one. You want to come up just enough, like I'll say maybe not even an inch from the bottom. You just want to make sure that your bottom is covered well. Okay, so I'm going to add just a little bit more water to this. And I guess you could do an inch of water if you wanted to, but I don't think it really requires that much. Say like maybe half an inch. Okay, if you haven't watched my previous videos, you don't know that this is the GOAT. Orrington Farms chicken broth base chicken. This is what I use all the time for pretty much everything. And I'm gonna say, I guess a teaspoon of this. It's pretty potent, so I'm gonna put a teaspoon of that in my water bath. Maybe a little bit more, just a little bit extra, because your spaghetti squash is bland, and I want to give it some oomph, so I add that broth base. Also, even though I added the broth base, I am still going to add some butter. And y'all excuse me for the noise. I'm just trying to make sure that the base is dissolving into the water. So this is about 2 tablespoons of butter that was left on this one. I don't want to just, waste it. So anyways, I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of this, but I'm going to put a tablespoon under each shell, each squash shell. So anyways, you're going to put your butter down. You're just going to put the squash on top of that. But before we do that, let's hit it with some seasoning. Now, the one I cooked on Friday, because I wanted it to be Asian style, and that's the video for that. This is the video for that. I hit it with some kosher salt. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of the Creole, not too much, just a little, kind of. And I know somebody's thinking, it's supposed to be Asian, and is. I don't see my, must be back in the cabinet. Oh, here's my garlic. Okay, I'm going to hit it with some garlic powder, and we're going to go heavy. Y'all know from my previous videos, I love garlic. I'm going heavy with the garlic powder, because when this is in that steam bath, I want that to be, I want it to be, really getting in there. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of season-all. Again, salt police don't come for me. It's just that, to me, this squash just is very bland. So you have to season it. And it's cooking inside of this shell. It's not like when you cut up a yellow squash and you put it down in the skillet with some onions and so forth, it's not getting that love. So everything is going to steam up. The flavor is going to steam up in there. That's why we did the broth bath. So I'm going to hit it with some onion powder. Not as much onion powder as garlic powder. To me, the onion powders, they just, I don't know. They don't give that. They don't give what the garlic powder gives. The onion powder to me is a little bit more, depending on the brand, it sometimes can be kind of artificial tasting. So next I'm going to go with, where is it? Y'all, I don't see, oh, my garlic butter. Oh goodness, I don't see my Kinder's garlic butter. Oh, here it is. Oops, sorry. So I'm gonna hit it with some of this Kinder's, and I'm gonna try to get this on the ends too, because you want everything to be seasoned. You want it to have that factor. Okay, now my oven is already preheated to 375. Now that our squash is properly seasoned and we've got it turned over on this butter, and now we're going to cover this with some foil. Now some people don't do that, do the bath thing, but this is just what I like. To me, it just does better in the bath. And somebody has moved my foil on me. So, probably my daughter. And I didn't look for it before I started cooking. So, let's see. Yep. She put it where I keep my instant potatoes. And you want to make sure that this is sealed well. You don't want the steam to come out, because you're basically steaming flavor in. And so you want it to stay in there well. So anyways, this is going into the oven, remember, at 375. I say 45 minutes to an hour, and depending on how large the squash is, it may need a little bit more time. You really just, whenever you're cooking, you got to watch it. You just got to watch whatever you're cooking. So while that's in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and cut up my veggies that are going to go in with the broccoli that I'm going to top that squash with. And always clean up behind yourself in your work area. Woohoo! So tired or no tire, I'm really, even though I'm doing this as a Meatless Monday recipe for y'all, I'm gonna probably take this to work tomorrow for my lunch. I'm not actually hungry. I had a big lunch. I'm trying to do better. When I have a big lunch, I try not to come home and then eat a whole bunch more stuff. You know, you feel me? I'm trying to be a little less fluffy by next year. So anyways, red bell pepper again, because as I told y'all before, that's what my children love. You saw my 2-year-old eating it raw. He loves it. So does my 6-year-old. That's going in our trash pan. And this I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to half that, because that's kind of big. It's a bigger bell pepper. I'm going to half these, and I don't like that pale part. It's kind of bitter to me, but just my preference. You don't have to cut that part off. I just normally always do. That looks a little pale. Cut that down. Okay, so anyway, so I'm just going to do some You see about how, I don't know if y'all can see how thick that is. I don't want it to be just thin, but I do want it to be sliced instead of diced, because I'm doing it what I'm gonna call Asian style, mainly based on flavor. The reason why I came up with this recipe is because primarily when I've done spaghetti squash, I've always done it with the red meat sauce, or I've done Alfredo, and sometimes you just don't want anything that heavy. So when you're doing a lighter night, this is perfect, because you're just doing all veggies, and say you put a side salad with it. When I made it Friday, I did it loaded with some of that honey barbecue chicken bites from Sam's, and I also did some Asian barbecue meatballs, which were a hit. So I'll do another video and show y'all how to do those. But today we're doing Meatless Monday, so it is what it is. But anyways, after I finish cutting these up, I'm gonna basically put them back in the fridge, put it to the side until, say, about, my squash has been in the oven for an hour, and I'm just gonna, you know, I'll steam my veggies after that. So y'all, please stay tuned, please watch, please like and subscribe. I'll be loading the rest soon. Thanks.